Hey guys, Sean Bougie, surplusfundsriches.net. You know, I get a lot of questions about, are we in the middle of a market crash? This is 2022, I'm talking to you, 11/3, 11/4, actually, November 4th. Are we in a market crash? And is this a 2008 all over again? Yes and no. So we're in an adjustment, guys. We could lose up to 20% this year in values. And I know before I was saying I'd be surprised to see 20. I'm starting to think that is going to happen. But here's what you got to look at. We were at 15 to 17% appreciation, depending on the market, the last 2 years in a row. That means if you bought a house, let's say you bought a house and it had a little over 16% appreciation in it, okay, last 2 years, which is moderate. So let's say you had that, right? Well, if you did, you went from $300,000 to, in 2 years later, $420,000. So even if we see a 20%, now you're down 84 grand. 420 times 20%, 84,000, right? So you're at 336. You're still to the good. I'm gonna do a little disclaimer on that, but you're still to the good. So even with an adjustment, there's equity in homes, which means there's surplus funds at the sale. In addition, you can't find it. The inventory is still super low. So we still are being driven right now by institutional buyers and by buy and hold buyers, people that don't care as much on value as they do on what they can rent it for. And with rents at historic highs, you're going to see that continue. Also, rents are going to continue to go up because the money costs more. So investors that buy the property are going to have to recoup the difference in what it costs for them to carry that debt load. And they're going to do that by passing that on to the renter. So rents are going to continue to go up. We've still got, about 3, maybe 4 months worth of inventory at any given time. That sounds like a lot to you guys. I know it's not. A market in equilibrium is considered to be a market with 6 months worth of inventory in it. So we're still a seller's market. We're still going down right now. If I was trying to buy in the upper end, which I avoid like the plague, but if I was trying to buy in the upper end, I would feel like I was trying to catch falling knives right now, okay? Because the values are coming down quickly. The differences between now and 2008 are, in 2008, we were giving anybody a mortgage. Banks were giving anybody a mortgage, okay, that had a heartbeat. They weren't tight on what they needed from the borrower, okay? They have been super tight the last couple of years. So you've got people that are well qualified in these houses. Now, we have a recession. We have a recession where wages are not keeping up with inflation also. So we do have a lot more people in trouble than would have been, especially with the cost, just the cost. Inflation is really killing people's budgets right now. So having said that, this is not 2008, okay? We don't have subprime loans on all these properties. And we don't have idiots right now in the major media outlets proclaiming that we should be doing strategic walkaways, for Christ's sake. That's crazy. Craziest thing I've ever seen. I had a family member ask me that in 2008. Hey man, I lost $80,000, $90,000 in value on this condo I have. I'm thinking about doing a strategic walkway. And I said, why? What would your rent be? Well, I'd be a little closer to work, but yeah, rent would be a little higher. Then what do you care? What do you care if you're in a negative equity situation if you're still spending less on your mortgage than you would in rent? And if you walk away, you're going to destroy your credit rating. So I talked that family member into holding on to it. Just 2 years ago, I think, they sold it, made a boatload of money on that property. Real estate will always go up over time. It's going to have fluctuations. 2008 was a blip. That's not going to happen again. But how it affects the market right now is, first of all, we still have equity. We're still going to have equity. We're going to have a great surplus funds ride. However, it's going to become even more important that you check debt, because during the pandemic, what people did is they hit the piggy bank. They said, I got this house. It's 3%. I can refi it. I can pull 50 grand out at just 3%. And I can take that 50 grand and put a pool in. I can take that 50 grand and buy a car. I can do whatever I want by hitting this piggy bank. So it's going to be extremely important that you check debt. I know all these guys out there go, don't worry about it, don't worry about it. No, it's going to be extremely important that you check debt right now, because people did incur additional debt during the pandemic, quite a bit actually. Also, when they did hit equity lines, if they didn't use the whole line, that's basically a checkbook up to a certain dollar amount, and they're going to continue to hit it now, especially since it's cheap money. So you need to check that. But guys, we're not going to see, now we are going to see a bloodbath in tax deed sales. The lower end is going to be phenomenal, especially coming into 2023. That's when I'm going to be telling people to get back into also doing deed flips, our other program, flipping property, where we buy it pre-tax sale and then flip it as is where is to investors. That's going to really get crazy in the first quarter of next year, 2023. Right now, surplus is the play, definitely. You just got to be real careful with it. Make sure that you research the debt. If you don't do that, you're wasting your time. And don't chase rabbit holes. Don't go down it's in probate, but I know who the heirs are, even though nobody's opened up probate. Don't get into all that stuff, guys. There's a lot of opportunity out there with a lot of equity, meaning a lot of surplus funds. There's no need for you to chase dead ends, especially right now. Get efficient, get rolling on what you're doing, and realize we are not in a 2008 situation at all. Not even close, guys. The stock market has been choppy as hell, but it's not anywhere near what happened in the stock market in 2008. We are the last standing country as far as our debt load and all that versus Europe. That's practically burning over there economically. So the money's going to be coming here. This is your safest play. Buying real estate's great. I still like flipping it, especially in the lower end, because that's where the money's going to be. The investors are going to want the lower end stuff so they can do teardowns, where they can rehab the lower end because it's going to be easier to sell, right? And that's why we flip in the lower end. That's why we flip the junk, because that's where the money is right now. But we are nowhere near 2008. And anybody saying that is full of baloney. They don't understand the market dynamics right now.